Hey guys, this is Derek Duplessis, host of Purpose Rockstar. It's a podcast where we interview people who found purpose in their career in all kinds of fields. Today's interview is with Gretchen Rubin, author of The Happiness Project, Happier at Home, and a lot of books about happy. I really enjoyed this interview because I got to know the journey of the person behind famous author that we all know. It was really cool, and we got into a little bit about her writing process. I know you'll enjoy this.
Welcome to the Purpose Rockstar Podcast, inspiring stories of people who found purpose in their careers 5 days a week. Unleash your inner rockstar and tap into your highest purpose with your host, Derek Duplessis.
Welcome to the Purpose Rockstar Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Duplessis, Executive Director of the Duplessis Foundation. We're helping inner city entrepreneurs to pursue their purpose by training them to run a successful business. This show is an extension of our mission to help you and people all over the world find purpose in their work. Let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. Gretchen Rubin left a prestigious career in law where she clerked for Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor to get writing. She created success with The Happiness Project, a book that tells a story of her year-long quest to bring more happiness in her life. We talk about Gretchen's journey, her writing process, and her upcoming book on habits before and after. I think you'll like it. Enjoy.
Purpose Rockstars, let's do this.
Tell us one thing that's really exciting you right now. Just give us like 30 or 60 seconds.
Well, one thing that it's really exciting me now, but it's excited me for a long time, is the sense of smell. I wrote about this a lot in Happier at Home, but it's just this quick, easy, delightful pleasure. No time, no energy, no money. You just smell the vanilla, buy a scented candle, smell fresh towels, smell the smell of a hardware store, and you just get this quick hit of happiness. I'm fascinated by the sense of smell, and it's all around us if we just pay attention to it. So that really, I just love it.
That is the most creative answer I've ever had to that question. Thank you so much for that.
Excellent.
Well, we're going to transition into the lightning round.
Okay.
We're going to ask you a series of quick questions. You're going to give us awesome responses. Now, recommend a book for us, the Purpose Rockstars who are trying to find their way towards a meaningful career.
I will tell you, I love Julia Child's book, My Life in France. It's all about someone who came to her calling pretty late in life and pretty coincidentally. She did not start off her career thinking that she was heading into French cooking. And I'm a person who's totally uninterested in cooking. I do not particularly like French cuisine. I'm not interested in France. There's nothing about it that is inherently interesting to me, except that Julia Child is so passionate. She is so enthusiastic. Her dedication to every bit of drudgery and skill is so powerful that anyone who is trying to follow their own path, I feel like it's just completely inspiring because it just makes you think you just get fired up to figure out what is your, French cooking and what are you going to do? And she's sort of goofy. And I love that about her because she's just out there with it. And so I would recommend My Life in France. It's short, it's an easy read, and it's totally delightful.
Bellissima.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a helpful internet resource that you use.
I really love Science Daily. It's a site where they have very short, very scientifically sound. It's not melodramatic or sensationalized the way sometimes science reporting is, about the latest research, and it's categorized in all different ways. So if you're interested in memory or mind and brain or ADHD or, evolution or whatever you're interested in, you can just zip around. And it's the kind of thing where if you have 15 minutes and you sort of want to learn something interesting, but you also kind of waste some time. It's perfect. Science Daily.
Awesome. I'm going to be checking it out. The nerd in me is
Yes,
just going to lose
the nerd
its
in you
mind.
will be very happy.
Well, we've been talking about habits, and, I've been asking you a series of questions about your habits, so this is going to be a fun question. What's one habit that's been really helpful to you?
Oh, so many habits have been super helpful to me. But one habit, this sounds so simple, but it's been very helpful to me, and so many people have told me that this transformed their life. And it's the 1 minute rule. If I can do something in less than a minute, I do it without delay. If I can hang up my coat instead of throwing it on a chair. If I can rip open a letter, scan it, and throw it away instead of just putting it in a pile. If I can take something that I printed out from the computer and put it in my filing cabinet instead of just leaving it on my side table. If I can, stop off and run a quick errand. I hate to do errands, but if I can just, do something in a flash. If I can put the stamp on so that the letter can be mailed. If I can answer an email instead of letting it languish for, a day or two until I get to it. There's we all are surrounded by this scum of clutter on the surface of our life, these little tiny tasks that are not significant, but they mount up, and then you walk into your office and you think, oh my gosh, I just don't even know where to begin. I can't even start because it's so overwhelming. And so to do things just in these little 1 minute things, it's so manageable that you don't feel burdened by it. It's so realistic. And yet, if you keep up with it, then the scum of clutter starts to dissolve and vanish, and you just feel lighter and freer. One of the things that's really surprised me in my study of happiness and habits is the degree to which, for most people, outer order contributes to inner calm and creativity. For most people, definitely not for everyone, but for most people, a clear desk, a clear table, clear surfaces, feeling like they can find things easily, that they don't have a bunch of stuff around them that doesn't work or that they don't use, it makes them feel freer. It makes them feel more in control. And it might be an illusion, but it's a helpful illusion. And this 1 minute rule is a very realistic way to try to calm that clutter, which is so ubiquitous and so unceasing. It's coming at us at all times. You just have to manage it constantly.
Awesome. Now, your journey has been awesome, and I just want to thank you so far for just giving us these great nuggets. And it sounds like a classic heroine story. But, it's not a singular story. There's other people along the way. Take 60 seconds to recognize someone that's been really helpful to you in sort of your development.
Well, there's two people. First is my sister, she became a professional writer, a television writer before I did. And I think it was really seeing her example that someone just decided to be a writer, and that was her job, was hugely helpful to me. And then also my agent. When I was starting out, as I mentioned, getting an agent is one of the hardest parts of being a professional writer. And this was somebody, she was just Christy Fletcher of Fletcher & Company. She was just starting out, and she took a gamble on me. I've worked with her ever since. She sees everything that I write before anybody else does. She's been an unfailing, her judgment, her taste, her sense of humor, her patience, her relentless, quest for excellence, which can be very tiresome at times, but I always appreciate it in the end. So those two people were very, very, helpful to me and continue always to be helpful to me as I'm working and writing.
Beautiful. Well, we appreciate you giving them the shout out, and I want to transition into my favorite question and the final question. Given all you've done and all that you've seen, why are you here? What is your purpose?
I think my purpose is to try to understand human nature. I feel like that's my subject, that's my passion, and everything I do is tied together by this desire to understand, why do we do what we do? What is human nature? Why am I the way I am, and why are other people the way they are? It helps me, that's my intellectual interest, but it's also in my everyday life. It's helped me be a better parent, a better wife, a better family member, a better friend, a better member of the community. Because I think the more I understand human nature, the less judgmental I am, because I really battle with being judgmental. The more forbearing I am, the better, and the better I feel like I can play my part, in life.
Gotcha. Now, tell folks how they could get in touch with you and give us some parting words.
Oh, great. Well, I love to connect with readers, and so I have a blog, as I mentioned, that I write on 6 days a week called The Happiness Project, and you can just Google that. And plus, I have a monthly newsletter that people can sign up for. I have a monthly book club where I recommend one happiness book, one work of children's literature, because I'm this crazy fan of children's literature, and one eccentric pick where I just pick a book because I love it, and you sort of have to just trust that it's going to be awesome, that people can sign up for. I have my daily moment of happiness, which is the happiness quotation. So going onto my blog, it's easy to see all the different ways that you could, I have a weekly video, so some people sign up for that because they love videos. There's all different kinds of things. I also offer a lot of downloads on my site, like if you are in a book club and you want to have a discussion guide, or if you want to start a group for people who are doing happiness projects together. That's something a lot of people do. I have a starter kit to help you start or launch a group of people doing happiness projects, and a lot of sort of tips lists and things like that. So there's more on the Happiness Project website than a person would ever want to read. But there's good stuff there. So that's where to start. And again, my paperback of Happier at Home just hit the shelf. I love all my books equally, but my sister says this is my best book. So I will say she says it's the best book that I've written, and it was such a joy to write. So that's another way, if you're interested in learning more about happiness. I really I hope you'd consider reading that.
Beautiful. Give us your parting words.
Ancient philosophers and contemporary scientists agree that the key to happiness is relationships. So anything that you do to strengthen or broaden your relationships will make you happier. Another way to answer the question about what is the key to happiness is self-knowledge, and that we can only build a happy life on the foundation of our own nature, our own temperament, our own values. And when we shape our life and our habits to reflect our nature and our values, then we're happier. So if you think about relationships and you think about self-knowledge, that will get you pretty far.
Thank you so much. That is actually going to be the focus of 2014 for me, relationships.
Oh, terrific. Well, that's brilliant.
I'm going to take your advice for sure. Now, I wanted to do something extra and special. Not sure what that's going to be. It would be great if you could promise us a little nugget that folks can find, a link when they go to purposerockstar.com and they look up this show. You can promise that we'll get a little something extra, a little nugget. Maybe it's an excerpt from the paperback edition of the book.
Absolutely. I will link to the chapter on possessions, because people are sort of weirdly fascinated by the relationship between happiness and possessions. And also the chapter on time, because dealing with time is a big challenge for people. So I'll provide links to that.
Awesome. Well, Gretchen Rubin, I want to thank you. The Purpose Rockstars out there salute you. I salute you. You have rocked this interview, so I greatly appreciate your time, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you so much. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Thanks for joining us today for another episode of the Purpose Rockstar Show. You can find all the information from this interview, including all the resources we mentioned, at purposerockstar.com. We invite you to join the Purpose Rockstar community. Just go to purposerockstar.com, enter your name and email right on our homepage, then you'll get exclusive access to content that's only available to Purpose Rockstar members. Join today and pursue your purpose.